when you open up your file for this week, for chapters 1 through 5, you're going to see vocabulary word set list 1. And I'm about to go over the vocabulary slides and vocabulary activity. So you can open up these while I discuss it in this video, or you can just follow along with the video first. It is up to you. So open this up and it looks like this. So we're going to start the giver. This is the first list of vocabulary words that you are going to use. This is right here. So if you open up your Kami, you're going to be able to answer directly onto this. Okay, while that loads, I'm going back here. You don't need a pencil because this is not on paper. It says, when we're reading, we sometimes encounter words we don't know. Without a dictionary, how can we figure them out if we don't know what it means? One way is by using context clues. We try to guess the meaning of the new word based on the details that surround it. So now you need to have this open, okay, because we're going to start working with that one. So here it says, first I'm going to show you how I use context clues to predict the meaning of a word. Let's begin with the first word, which is accustomed. So you should see this picture right here, okay? Now, before I do that one, let's look at our example here. We do have directions in this first box, and it says first you're going to begin by looking at the photo and ask yourself, what do you see? So this particular person right here, they thought to themselves and they said, well, in this picture right here, I see birds flying in the air and they are not being controlled or told what to do. Then it says, next, look at the caption. So our caption is right underneath. It's this right here underneath. All captions are typically right around the image and they give you a little bit more information about the image. So it says, ask yourself, what word could I put in place of the underlined vocabulary word? Well, it says birds have absolute freedom to go wherever they like. Here, I might substitute all or complete for absolute. Then, number 3, it says to look at the example sentence. That is right here. It says, my mother was not absolute. Once she said it, there was no chance of changing her mind. So we might be able to substitute the caption in the example sentence and decide, if I use the word all or complete, does that make sense? So if I use the word complete in place of absolute, my mother's, I don't even know what that was supposed to say. That makes no sense. Anyway, that's not working correctly, but it's asking you down here, what is your prediction? And if your prediction, this is the answer that you would say, it's not right or wrong, but I want you to try to come up with what you think the word means before you put down the actual definition. Okay? The actual definition will be the last thing that you do after you have predicted every single word's meaning. So now let's go back to this. Right here we have accustomed. So it says, I begin by looking at the photo. I ask myself, what do I see? So right here, oops, let's go back. I see a lady with her eyes closed, or she's looking down on a bright day. Now let's look at our caption right here in the red box. It took a few minutes for Carly's eyes to become accustomed to the sun. So now let's try to figure out what word could we put in place of this underlined word accustomed. It says here I might substitute get used to, like Carly's eyes had to get used to the bright sun. So now let's look at our example sentence, which is now in this red box. The dog was accustomed to getting food scraps from the table. Now what can I try to substitute? Let's see if I can use used to or the word familiar to see if I can make it make sense. So if I say the dog was used to getting food scraps from the table. That does make sense. So right here, what is your prediction? You would write your answer used to, because both sentences use the word to be and become. Therefore, the answer is an adjective or describing word. I will write used to. Then it says, after you've had a chance to make predictions for all of the words, I'll show you the correct dictionary definition. That will go down here. Okay, so now let's think through the second word, conceivable, together. So now you're on number 2 right here. And all you should have done here was add a text box and type in the word used to. Okay? So now let's see. Let's look right here. And since we're not together, we're not going to be sharing out, but I want you to think to yourself, what do you see in this photo? Okay, I see 2 little girls. They're on bicycles. They both have training wheels, so they must be kind of young. They're both wearing helmets, so they're trying to be safe. Now it says to look right here at our caption. The girls look alike, so it's conceivable that they are twins. Now our example sentence, it is conceivable that the teacher will give a quiz today for last night's reading. So now we want to try to figure out, based on how conceivable is used in both of those sentences, what do we predict the meaning of conceivable is? And then you would type it right here, okay? And now these are the rest of the words that you're going to have. As you can see, you've got 10 words, okay? You need to do that, follow that process for all 10 words. Now, when it says let's review, okay? In context, you're predicting what the meaning is, and then you're going to put the correct definition down here where the circles are. Now, I believe, yep, I'm going to stop right there. Please do not skip ahead, because you will check yourself and check your predictions. And then after you have predicted all 10, I want you to go back to number 2 on conceivable. And you're going to go to the next slide, which is slide 21. And that's where you will start to begin reading the correct dictionary definitions. And you will go back and you will add those in here. Okay? When you are finished with that, use all of that information that you've done for the first 3 pages to help you answer the next page. So now it says to fill in the blanks using the correct vocabulary word to complete each sentence. You may have to change the form of the word. With examples are going, go, gone. You might have to change some EDs, INGs, things like that. So number 1 through 5, you're going to use this word list. And number 6 through 10, you're going to use this word list. So I'll do number 1 with you. After Janae told her best friend that she wanted a party, it was blank that her friend would tell the others. So it was, we might say, what did we say that a custom meant? Does anybody remember? Used to? Does used to work there? I don't know about that one. What did we say that if we said conceivable, it is conceivable that the teacher will give a quiz today for last night's reading. The girls look alike. It's conceivable that they're twins. So in my opinion, I'm thinking that conceivable is probably the best option here. So make sure you spell it correctly. It's right in front of you. Don't be lazy. Copy it directly from here, conceivable. And then you can come down to the next one, add a new text box, and you're going to answer number 2 here. So as you can see, you've got, get off that. This is for answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Answer 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you are finished with this, turn it in. Okay? This is something that you will have a grade for. After you have finished this, I need you guys to go back, and this is when you're going to start reading chapters 1 through 5. Each one of these has a read aloud for YouTube to go along with the graphic novel chapter. They are very short. If you wanted to do them all in one day, go for it. I don't mind. But also, each chapter has independent questions, and each independent question is supposed to be turned in for a grade. Okay, I don't know if Miss Scudder is going to take a grade for each chapter or if she's going to combine all 5 chapters into one grade, but this is going to be similar to a quiz. Okay, and if Miss Scudder has the rest of the class do a quiz for chapters 1 through 5, I will create one for you guys that is slightly different based on the graphic novel questions. Okay, so one thing I want you to notice, this is also in Kami. So once I open this one in Kami, it starts out with multiple choice questions. Okay? If you need it read aloud to you, it's a good thing that Kami can read to you. All right. So you have 4 questions that are multiple choice, and then you have 1 question that you need to answer in a complete sentence. So I have provided you a text box. All you have to do is click on it, and you should be able to type. Okay? This question needs to be answered in English, and you need to try to do your best to answer in complete sentences. It would be even better if you could back up your answer with an example from the text. But if you can't do that because that's just not where your language is yet, then just try to answer the question to the best of your ability. When you're done with this one, you turn it in for a grade. If you have any questions, please let me know.